Have you ever been on a family vacation with your kids and just thought, this isn't as enjoyable as I thought it would be? Or maybe you're anxious to even attempt to travel with your kids in the first place. If you've ever taken a family vacation that felt more like a circus than a relaxing escape, this episode is for you. In today's episode, you will learn the 3 ways that parents unintentionally sabotage their own family vacations and what to do instead so you can actually enjoy your trips and leave with positive lifelong memories. All right, let's go. Hey, welcome back to the Transform with Travel podcast. I'm Kelly Tolliday, your trusted travel friend. And today we're talking about all the ways that us parents sabotage our own family vacations. And you may be thinking, why would I sabotage my own family vacation that I so meticulously planned? Well, my friend, hear me out. I have definitely been there more times than I can count. I can just feel viscerally like tearing my bags apart at an airport lounge, just trying to find that one stuffed animal or that one baby doll that my daughter needs to be able to sleep on the plane, or up in the middle of the night in Greece, rocking a baby that has no intention of going to sleep because, well, jet lag. I remember also thinking to myself more times than I can count and very much out loud, why the F did we take this trip in the first place? Like, let's go home. I remember specifically in Thailand, 5 weeks, probably about 3 weeks in, I was like, nope, turn it around. We're getting on the next flight home. So, yes, I have been there. And sometimes I still am there. I mean, there's no perfect trip. And I'm by no means a parenting expert. I've got a 4 and a 2-year-old. So I have no leg to stand on in the parenting world of, the vast experience that people have of all ages. But I have traveled to 11 countries so far with my 2 young girls. We've spent 5 weeks in Southeast Asia. We have spent months at a time in Australia. We go back and forth between Costa Rica several times a year. I like to think that I'm somewhat of an expert in family travel, at least with young kids. Do not get me going on teenagers because I'll end up eating my words in 10 years' time. So I'm specifically speaking from the lens of having young children. On top of this, I also get asked on a daily basis questions around family travel and commiserating with each other a little bit about why it feels so hard and why it feels so challenging. And it's a very interesting conversation because it's typically people who have traveled a lot before. So you'd think, okay, they have a lot of travel experience. It shouldn't be that hard for them to travel with their kids. But I think there is a little bit of this cognitive dissonance when you do actually have so many experiences traveling around the world, and then you try to do it with your kids and it's like, not computing. Why is this not matching up? So between my own personal experience of traveling with my kids and also, traveling throughout my life and hearing from probably hundreds of you at this stage, I've created 3 distinct ways that I see parents, myself included, unknowingly and unintentionally self-sabotaging their own family trips. And I've come up with action plans for each of these to do instead, so you can actually enjoy your time on vacation with your kids and leave with positive lifelong memories instead of this feeling of, why did we do this? Before we get into it, a quick mention here. You don't have to plan your trips alone. I'm here as your trusted travel friend, as your pro travel advisor to bring your dream family vacation to life. So stay tuned at the end of the episode where I'm going to share a recent client's feedback of working with me to create her first family vacation with her 2 young boys to the Grand Canyon. So stay tuned for the end of the episode to hear about that experience. Okay, self-sabotage number 1. Overpacking like you're moving abroad. So let's be real. We all start off with good intentions, and then eventually it turns into, I'm just going to pack this just in case. I'm just going to pack this just in case. And all of a sudden, you have an entire suitcase of just in case items. And from the lens of medicines and stuff like that, I 100% I'm with you on that, but sometimes we just go a little overboard. Fast forward 12 hours later at the airport and you're literally like sweating through airport security. Like I feel this in my bones, this sweating nervousness through airport security with your travel stroller, and then you got your 2 backpacks, and then you have your little kids backpack because they want to wear it, but you end up freaking carrying it the whole time, and you got this suitcase that's the size of a smart car, and one child sobbing because their favorite stuffed animal is apparently lost and they can't apparently be happy without this stuffed animal in their hands at that very moment. You can't feel your blood pressure rising as I'm talking. I hope I'm not the only one here. The issue here isn't just the chaos of the airport. It's also the chaos of just too much stuff. It's overstimulation, too many things, as well as the environment, but too much stuff that you're literally carrying from like a sensory perspective. You're carrying kids, you're carrying backpacks, you're carrying strollers. It's too much for you and for your kids. And too many choices and too much clutter and too many things to keep track of. Your vacation shouldn't require like a search and rescue mission every time you unzip your suitcase. You all know what that's like, trying to like find something at the bottom of a backpack that the one small thing that your kid needs, the snacks, all of it. It's also like creating too many choices for your kids while you're on the plane or while you're in the car. So if I've seen this like this like viral trend of parents get like a fishing tackle box, like a 3-layer fishing tackle box. And they've got like little knickknack toys in every single little compartment. And to me, like immediately I was like, hard no, like that's way too much stuff. And you're going to end up on the floor of the airplane trying to pick up 5 different Hot Wheels cars and all the crayons and the Play-Doh. And like, it's too much. Your kids really don't need as much as you think that they're going to need. And the first time you fly with not that many toys or not that many options, it's probably going to be a shit show. But they get used to it. They get used to like, okay, I've got my small thing of Play-Doh and I've got my little Montessori busy board and I've got my iPad and I have my iPad and that's it. And eventually they get used to that. But when you have too many things, it's just creating so much chaos in your mind. And that's where I have found the biggest problem. Like I've seen families just with tons of carry-on luggage and pillows and blankets and stuffies. And then they've got their backpack filled with snacks. And you can just see the mom like is super stressed and her hair's everywhere. And she's trying to keep track of everything. And I say the mom because, I mean, stereotypically, the dad is like probably still in the bathroom for the last 30 minutes. So for me, it's really about simplifying. So what to do instead? I know it's like, it seems like a very easy basic, but pack way less. Seriously, kids don't need 10 outfit changes for a 3-day trip. And it's actually easier to pack for longer trips. Like I have found like a 10+ day trip easier to pack for because I already know I'm going to have to do laundry at some stage. But even for a 3-day trip, bring a few key outfits. Make sure things can be mixed and matched together. Let them rewear stuff if it's not that dirty. Go do laundry if you have laundry in your house or villa, if you have laundry services at the hotel or nearby. Like just plan on doing laundry, bring less stuff. Don't bring the entire toy chest on planes or in the cars. Bring a few key versatile toys and let movement be a bit of a toy. I know it's harder when they're strapped in planes or in the car, but when you're at the gate, when you're at the airport, when you're at the rest stop, let them move, let them run, flip them around upside down, like spin them around in circles wherever you can. Try to let the movement be part of that stimulation so that when they're on the plane, yeah, they're probably going to be a mess after it hits, hour 2, hour 3. As someone who's been on airplanes for 14+ hours with my kids, I get it. So this is why I give you full permission to use the iPad. In our family, and this is no judgment whatsoever, but we don't use iPads at home ever. I mean, they watch TV, they have, movies and stuff, but we don't bring the iPads out until they are physically on that airplane. So they know that iPad is the attraction. And yeah, maybe they're watching on an iPad for 2 hours, for 3 hours. That would literally never happen at home. So that's okay while it's on an airplane, because that's like their special treat is the iPad. They have their special headphones and they have their little, Amazon Fire, and that's the special thing that they get to use. And so that helps part of that process of them constantly needing that interaction from you, which starts to feel really taxing over time. So the less stuff you bring, the more space it brings to your inner world. You'll have less to keep track of. Your kids will end up getting creative with what they have. And also thinking about it from like the baby equipment. I know it's really tough when you have small babies. There's diapers, there's bottles, electric bottle warmers, you've got the pump. Like there's a lot more to think about from like a really small, tiny baby. So I get it. And that's one of those things where it's just like you need what you need, and that's okay. and you just do your best with that. But once you get into the ages where they don't need as much stuff, like really starting to train them to know that they don't need as much stuff. And the bonus here, really, like truly, this is the bonus. When they come home, even after 4 days away from their normal environment, when they come home and see how many toys they actually have because you didn't bring it with them, they get really excited again. I remember coming back home after 5 weeks in Southeast Asia. My girls maybe had like one book, an iPad, and like a handful of toys here and there that we'd just pick up along the way while we were traveling. They thought that they were in Toys R Us with unlimited budget. Like they just could not believe the toys that they hadn't seen in so long. And kids have really short memories, right? So even if it's a 10-day trip, a 7-day trip, they'll still get really excited to see all of the options that they have at home again. So that's kind of like a little bit of a bonus for you. I don't know about you, but I still feel anxious before a travel day between the packing, especially with the kids, and the crowds in the airports, or perhaps even like turbulence on a plane. And even when I get stuck in large crowds, I can feel the anxiety starting to bubble up within me, whether it's the anxiety on the day or even when you get to your destination and there's just so much to do and so much to see. I think we've all felt the stress of travel in some way. And now I've visited over 45 countries. I've hosted retreats and tours around the world. You've bet I have experienced all of the highs and lows of travel, things like flight delays and natural disasters, losing luggage, even dealing with toddler tantrums, with adult tantrums, being stuck in airports overnight, all the things all the time. And with over 17 years of yoga practice under my belt, and I've been teaching for nearly a decade now, I can truly say that I've tried all of the mindfulness practices, all of the breathwork techniques, again, all the things all the time. I've learned how to apply concepts of mindfulness and to navigate travel stress and just being able to be in my travel experience with more presence and more joy, and not letting those travel mishaps and stress, things that are bound to happen inherently when you step out of your comfort zone. I'm not letting those travel mishaps kind of ruin my trip as a whole. I'm here as your trusted co-pilot to help you experience the vacation of your dreams by applying the principles of mindfulness. So that's why I'm so excited to announce that our ebook, which we launched late last year, called The Mindful Traveler, it's actually up for grabs right now for free. So run to our website, www.transformwithtravel.co, and you can check out how to download that for free. Get the freebie right in your inbox. You'll have an account with us as well to be able to get all of the practices, the strategies, the techniques, the journal prompts, the podcast episodes. It was all designed to guide you to a more easeful travel experience no matter what happens. And there's even a meditation for turbulence and anxious flyers, which I know a lot of us are feeling the stress of flying within the US right now with all of the news lately. So this ebook is for you. It's for free and it is for you at transformwithtravel.co, or there's a link in the show notes. Get it for free and embark on a journey of tranquil travels with our new ebook, The Mindful Traveler. Self-sabotage number 2, overscheduling and out of sorts. Listen, I know you want to make the most of your trip. You want the memories and the adventures and the family bonding, all the things. But what ends up happening is you just end up cramming too many activities into each day. Everyone gets hungry, everyone's hot. By noon, you're dragging a screaming toddler through this tour or through this museum when all they want is a nap and a snack and maybe a movie. You're also likely out of your daily routine from home, which is already going to be dysregulating for your child. It's good for them to get out of the routine, really good for their brains, but it's also dysregulating, and it's also dysregulating for you too. So trying to emulate your routine at home where you can, right? Again, it's really good for our brains, kids and adults, to step out of our comfort zone and step out of our routine. So I'm not saying like to the hour, stay to your routine, but in general, if you have like a flow to your day at home, it's probably helpful to kind of keep a similar flow while you're traveling, and giving yourself a lot of space in the itinerary to check in with your family and just see what you really need. So case in point here of how I have done this to myself, where I've overscheduled, or I just tried to do too much, or like I got wrapped up in like, well, if they don't see this, then they really didn't see Costa Rica. So we went down to Costa Rica last year with really good friends. They have 3 girls. We have 2 girls, all under the age of 5. I was like, they have to see Manuel Antonio because they need to see the monkeys and the birds and the toucans and all of that. Meanwhile, we have this gorgeous house that's overlooking the ocean. We have monkeys and toucans right outside our door, but instead, nope, we packed up our bags. We drove 40 minutes to Manuel Antonio. We had a private guide who was fantastic. He had the telescope out so the kids can like see all the animals in the trees, which was fun for about 20 minutes. And then the 4-year-old and the 2-year-old, and everyone's tired of walking and it's a billion degrees outside. Both me and my mom friend have babies in carriers, so we're dripping wet. There's a picture of us that it's literally making me crack up right now thinking about it. There's a picture of all of us, so 5 and 4, 9 of us in front of this sign, Emmanuel Antonio, and the tour guide's taking a picture of us. And just like me and my mom friend are smiling because we're just like, fake it till you make it. The kids, their hair's like matted on their faces, their cheeks are red. The husband's just like, what are we doing here? And it's just case in point that like the magical memories don't have to be made on tour or on excursion or in the museum or doing the thing that you think you need to do to quote unquote, see the destination right or do the destination right. So trying to like think about it from that perspective. Are we overscheduling ourselves? That's one of the things that I see the most of is parents just trying to do too much with their kids. Even older kids like 8, 9, 10, 11, they need a lot more rest than we give them credit for. And on the flip side of that is where's your alone time? Oftentimes I see parents try to pack in as much together time as possible, which I totally get. You have 1 week a year, you want to spend as much time with your family as possible, but then you're kind of overdoing it a little bit. Like you are a human who needs personal space at some stage, who needs to pee in peace once in a while. Where's your alone time in that? Are we almost overdoing it in the amount of like every single minute we're together? So what to do instead? Again, it goes back to the simplifying piece. Simplify the schedule. Here's my rule. Like this is, we've implemented this since we did 5 weeks in Southeast Asia when I had a 3-year-old and a 15-month-old, and we pretty much have kept to it every trip. 1 activity per day. That's it. One activity. The rest of the time is free time. Typically, our flow of our day when we're traveling is we wake up, we get out immediately, we have breakfast, we do some sort of activity in the morning. We're still in the age of naps. So I have well, how old is she? Oh my gosh, 2.5. I have a 2.5-year-old. She still takes a nap during the day. So we all reconvene 12:30, 1 p.m., have a nap, or my oldest will watch a movie. My husband will go in the pool. Then in the afternoon, we typically keep that fairly free. So we have free time for swim or watch a movie, or we walk around the neighborhood, find a bakery. We usually leave that time very open. And maybe for you guys are a sleep-in family and take the morning slow and then get out in the afternoon. But either way, it's 1 activity per day. And on that note of, where's your alone time, give each parent a break. If you are in a family with 2 parents or 2 caregivers, giving each caregiver a break. Tag out for a morning or an afternoon. Go read a book alone at the hotel pool while, your partner takes them to the kids center or takes them for a walk. Get a massage or take that yoga class. Just giving each other a little bit of space, whether it's 1 full morning or 1 full afternoon, giving each caregiver a little bit of space to be able to come back to themselves, come back to their center so that they can stay regulated for their kids moving forward. And if you have the resources and the comfort level, I guess, you could hire a sitter or a nanny either through your hotel or your villa might have, recommended vetted nannies for a few hours. Go on a date together. Remember what it's like to talk without being interrupted by someone demanding berries or apples or snacks. Okay, last one. Self-sabotage number 3, expecting perfection. I think out of everything that I've spoken about, that is the number one, is that we are expecting perfection out of our trips. This idea of the Instagram versus reality. Yes, the fantasy that you've conjured in your mind that you're going to go on this family vacation and it's going to be full of laughter and slow moments and sun-kissed cheeks and dreamy, candid, smiling pictures and matching linen, right? Like then all of a sudden reality hits. One kid's getting diarrhea, the other one lost a shoe. You're crying in your hotel bathroom because this is not what you expected or wanted. And especially if you're used to having your kids in school and then all of a sudden you're with them all day and night, there can be some dissonance between what you thought this 24/7 time together would be like and what it actually feels like, because your nervous system wasn't quite ready for the constant snack request and the sheer chaos of it all. Not to say that all of this time together is bad, of course not, but your nervous system wasn't prepared for that if your kids are in school 5 days a week. And here's the thing, family travel is beautiful because it's messy. And you are talking to someone who is a self proclaimed type A organizational freak. So so this has taken a very, very long time for me to understand, to embrace, to accept. You are creating core memories. You're not curating a lifestyle shoot. And this idea of over curation kind of goes back to the schedule piece too. But I think in a world of Instagram and social media, we have over curated our life a lot. But oftentimes it's the chaos that creates the beauty. And this all sounds very fluffy and ideological now. You're like, yes, of course, the chaos creates the beauty. But in the moment of a tantrum at 9 p.m. after 4 hours of flight delays, you're like, all right, Kelly, where the F is this beauty? So I get it. Like, I totally 100% understand that, like, it sounds a great idea, but in the moment of a really tough travel moment with kids, it is hard to kind of let go of that perfection or even be able to kind of like come back to yourself and like regulate enough to notice that this is part of the moment. So, what to do instead? I think it's really easy to say things like just ditch the perfection, expect the meltdown, plan for things to go sideways. Like, great. But if you're someone who kind of runs a little anxious or you're someone that runs a little type A, that's not really useful advice. I think the best thing for me that has worked and what I have helped a lot of clients go through and help, a lot of travelers on Instagram DMing me is just understanding what helps you come back to you. Because although we can say embrace the meltdown, embrace the chaos, like that's very hard to do if you don't know how to come back to neutral enough to be able to embrace it. So just knowing that these things are likely going to happen at some stage, you can know it doesn't mean that you're quite ready to embrace it. Knowing that it's going to happen at least helps you have a little bit of an action plan of what's going to help you, come back to neutral. Things like deep breaths, maybe a little bit of movement, maybe just like, stretching your neck out a little bit, a couple shoulder rolls. Maybe you just need a 5 minute break from your kids. You just tell your partner, hey, I need to go for a walk in this airport for 5 minutes and I'll be right back. Whatever you need, that's going to help you stay regulated so that you can quote unquote embrace the meltdown or ditch the perfection. Before you're regulated enough to do that, that's just fluffy words, right? Another part of this is having a plan B for the delays. So the same thing of like embrace the chaos, like knowing, okay, well, what would we do if this flight got canceled or delayed? What would we do if we had an entire day of rain and all the tours, or now that we know this, only our one tour of the day got canceled? Having a little bit of a plan B for these delays or for these travel things that just happen, that will help you in your mind also feel regulated, calm, balanced as it comes up. And when shit does hit the fan, and I'd like to say this is just figuratively, but we know with family travel that could very much be literal. One of my favorite things that I do is reset. So we did this in Thailand. Again, I had a 3-year-old and a 15-month-old at the time. Every time that it got really chaotic, someone's screaming, someone's crying, whether that's a kid or whether that's me, me and my husband would just look at each other and we'd be like, restart. And he's like, yep, restart. And I'd ask the kids, I'm like, you guys ready to restart? And what I mean by that is just like, stop it in its tracks. We played Shake Your Sillies Out by the Wiggles on our phone. And we would literally just stop and shake it all out and run around and jump up and down and shake, 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 shake. And then we would take a couple like deep breaths all together and be like, all right, that is over. That moment is over. And we're stepping into a new moment. And that helped so much. We still do that at home sometimes when the house is getting a little chaotic. I'd be like, all right, who's ready to restart? And we just like shake, 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 shake. That's like a somatic technique of kind of stopping the chaos in its track, but also letting that chaotic energy that's in your body express itself. You're not just like stopping it and shoving it down. You're stopping it, but then expressing it in a more helpful way than screaming, crying, yelling, whatever. And lastly, embracing part of the chaos and expecting the delays and all of that is being able to celebrate the micro moments, the sweet snuggles, the belly laughs, the funny face in the pool, the first time your kid jumps in the pool without having to hold your hand, the moment when they realize that there's a monkey in the trees above the waterfalls. My 2-year-old still says, "Remember the monkeys at the waterfall?" That's the good stuff. And that's what your kids are going to remember. So, what me and my husband always do is we look back on our day. Pretty much every day that we're traveling, we always look back on that day and not on all the ways that it went wrong, but we really try to emphasize those micro moments of joy. And some days of family, it truly is a micro moment of joy, but hold on to that. Like, let that be the thing that gets amplified over all the ways that maybe the day went wrong. And oftentimes, the crazy tantrums, the like shit that happens that are just like, what? Like, it's what is going on right now? What are we doing? I promise you, it's going to be one of the things that you laugh the most about on that trip. One time we were in Greece and my 9-month-old at the time was not handling jet lag very well. And me and my husband and my sister and her husband and my parents, we all went out in Mykonos. We had a nanny come over after the kids went to sleep and just hang in the villa. We went out in Mykonos. We were partying it up. We got back at midnight and I was like, oh my God, the nanny has our daughter in her hands. She's awake. And I was like, my stomach dropped and I was like, oh my God, she's awake. What are we going to do? And we all just stayed up till like 2 a.m. playing like crazy music and passing the baby around until eventually she fell asleep. And I don't think I've ever been as tired on a trip than I was during that trip to Greece because my youngest daughter basically decided not to sleep the whole time. But we crack up. I mean, it's 2 years on now. So we just laugh hysterically looking at those pictures now. And it's one of those things that like in the moment, it could feel terrifying to think my daughter's never going to sleep on this trip and I'm going to be exhausted. And I was really exhausted. But it's one of those things that like those moments will continue to serve you as you move on. And every single trip that you take, you build your confidence as a parent and you do better at not self-sabotaging because you just learn how to deal with your own unique kids and your own unique family. So all of that to say, your trip does not have to be perfect for it to be meaningful. It doesn't even have to feel necessarily good in the moment. It could still feel stressful. You could still feel tired for this trip to be meaningful in the long run. So a quick recap, right? The 3 ways that parents self-sabotage while they're on their trips and what to do instead. Number 1, pack less crap. Embrace simplicity when you're packing and let go of the toy haul. Your kids are going to be okay. Number 2, do less. One thing a day. Protect your rest for the kids, for the parents, protect your peace, and protect your alone time. And number 3, let go of the Instagram dream and just embrace what is real. Find what works for you to bring yourself back to a state of calm so you can be in that state of embrace and surrender. Reset and restart whenever you need to, as many times as you need to, and find the magic in the mess. Family vacations are work. Actually, I love the quote where it says it's not a vacation, it's not a family vacation, it's a family trip. That like rang true so much for me. And there it's work. Yes, you are out of your comfort zone and you are essentially having to parent your child in a different state or a different country. But they can also be so fulfilling if you give yourself permission to do it differently and do it in your own way, in a way that feels good for you. If you loved this episode, please share it with your partner, your mom friends, your dad friends, anyone planning a trip with kids this year. And hey, if you're dreaming of a family trip that's actually fun and easy and meaningful, you know where to find me. Feel free to email me at kelly@transformwithtravel.co and I can get you started and well on your way to a family trip that feels really, really good for you. Until next time, pack light, breathe deep, and let travel transform you and your family. All right, all right. How did we feel after that episode? I hope you feel a little more equipped to handle your next family vacation with a little more ease and enjoy it. So, I wanted to share a review from a client of mine. She was planning her first family vacation with her little kids. She has 2 young boys, I believe 6 and 3, and it was gonna be her and her husband and her mother-in-law, so multi-gen trip, 5 of them all together. I don't believe the youngest had ever been on a plane before, perhaps both. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it would have been, the first time in a really long time, or the first time as a family of 4 plus the mother-in-law all going together on a plane, and they wanted to go to the Grand Canyon during spring break. So I put together an itinerary for them. We found a gorgeous house. They wanted to have a home base, so we found a house for them. They had a day of exploring the Grand Canyon, a day of exploring Sedona on the Pink Jeep tours, which was really fun. I really tried to take into account the boys and their interests, the parents and their interests, and making sure that they had a date night. As I just mentioned, they brought their mother-in-law along, so they were able to go into town and have a date night, and just overall making it a really balanced itinerary so they're not spending too much time in the car, which I know is tough with kids, and really piecing all of these things together so that it feels really good as a parent to be able to take your kids on these adventures. And I think what's beautiful about this is they didn't rely on me to make everything perfect. They made it their own, but they used me as support to be able to kind of brainstorm, like, what is it that we actually want out of this trip? So this is what she said. She said, "This has been by far the best trip we've ever taken, and we could not have done it without Kelly Tolliday of Transform with Travel. She planned our entire trip from start to finish and made sure everything was kid-friendly and fun. Our whole family has had the time of our lives. Thank you so much, Kelly." I mean, I just got goosebumps. That means everything to me because, of course, we're here for transformation through travel, and oftentimes that means solo or with a partner or a friend. But to be able to bring your kids along for the ride on that, they get to see you as a parent be relaxed and be adventurous and try something new. Like, what a gift that is. So, if you're ready for your next family adventure, please reach out to me. You can email me directly, Kelly at transformwithtravel.co, or you can go onto my website and learn more. And I would love to help you bring your next adventure to life. All right, we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for joining today. Happy exploring. Thanks for tuning in to the Transform with Travel podcast. If you have a friend or a loved one you were thinking of during this episode, spread a little love and share this episode with them, someone who could use a little inspiration. And while you're at it, be sure to subscribe to the podcast as well. To learn more about us, head to www.transformwithtravel.co, and I'll see you on the next episode. This is your reminder to keep on exploring.